Hello everyone, today I'm looking at Titanfall 2. This is a pretty cool game, a very decently fun game. Even the multiplayer is good. So Titanfall 1, I think came out around 2016, and it was kind of like, hey, what if we made a Western game with mechs and shooting in space and stuff and a futuristic shooter? And I was like, okay, cool, yeah, no, yeah, it was really cool. But the first game was multiplayer only with no campaign, and I think the servers are dead now or something, so you can't even play it anymore. But Titanfall 2 does have the campaign, and it's fairly interesting, all right, but it's a really fun shooter and a really cool shooter at that. And I'm not sure if many people know this, but for better or for worse, frankly for worse in my opinion, Titanfall 3 was in the works and was cancelled and turned into Apex Legends. And yeah, I mean, you can definitely see, the similarities in Apex, essentially where you can not clamber, but run along walls and stuff, and it's a very mobile multiplayer game, but it is kind of a not exactly battle royale, but like a survival arena shooter, in that you only have one life and you drop in, and it's kind of like battle royale, but you just don't have hundreds of people. You just have small squads in a smaller kind of arena kind of style map. And I hate those games. I hate battle royale games, or any game that does not let you respawn quickly so you can get a hang of the game. I don't know how people can get addicted to those, because if I'm not getting better at the game and I'm not constantly getting back into the action, it's really frustrating. In any case, the mech designs in this game is pretty cool. They're very distinct. It's not like I'm looking at these things and being like, oh, that's a Gundam or something. No, they do have a very distinct vibe about them, a very distinct structure. They're very bulky. They're very, kind of square and, similar to things like you'd see in, I don't know, like old games like Mech Warrior and stuff like that. And they're essentially kind of these bipedal things. And what I really like about what they did with the story in this one is that the mech has its own almost personality, where it is really synced up and bonded to the player. And so they kind of have this weird relationship between BT and the main guy, whose name I just forgot. But you were just basically a kind of a marine, and basically you need to team up with this mech and take out, these other terrorists, who are essentially building this mech army. So the gameplay is really cool. It basically emphasizes a lot of mobility. So you have things like assault rifles and machine guns and pistols and whatever, and they have you essentially run along walls. You can do a lot of basic, a lot of platforming, really. That's a lot of fun. You basically have a grappling hook of some sort, and you're able essentially to move around the map very rapidly and do a lot of cool things. The environments range from sort of forests to other kinds of areas, giant mechanical, assembly plants where you basically they're fabricating entire like homes and worlds and whatever. And the mech that's assigned to you is called BT. And so basically, it kind of opens up with the guy kind of dies and says, okay, take my mech, I'm kind of done for, and you kind of assume control and command of that mech, and go after the bad guys, basically. So the way it works, it's really cool. In the campaign, there are certain moments when you can get into your mech and basically fall from the sky, and you can jump in, and there's a few different loadouts and things you can equip onto your mech that you get to try throughout the campaign, including heavy machine guns, heavy shotguns, rocket launchers, and your mobility of your mech is obviously very limited. You can like dash left and right, up and down, forwards and backwards. You also have a secondary fire mechanic on your arm, and yeah, these they're a lot of fun to play. Sound design is great, the guns work great, and the campaign is pretty decent and gets you familiarized with the concept and the gameplay. My was able to play a little bit of multiplayer on this game. The servers were really shoddy, where like I would join a game and then immediately like be kicked, or like I would keep searching and then as soon as I found something, immediately went back to the main menu. So it was very weird, and that's kind of a subjective thing. I think it doesn't always work out perfectly. But in multiplayer, the mechs are kind of a little bit fair and balanced in the sense that, of course, while they can do more damage, the smaller the guy, the faster they can move, and the less, they can see you. So it really is a very balanced game, and I really enjoy playing the multiplayer because, again, even though you're this big mech thing, every soldier and class loadout has some kind of Titan killer that either EMPs it or slows it down or can destroy it using some kind of rocket launcher or something, or they can jump on top of it and like throw grenades in there and things like that. So even though the Titans are definitely very overpowered, they are not indestructible, and again, you just paint a huge target on yourself. Again, the campaign isn't anything amazing. It's definitely more interesting than a game like Resistance, but not as interesting as a game like Halo. It's very decent, but again, nothing super amazing. There is one really cool part, though, in the campaign where you go to this abandoned facility, basically, and you find this weird secret technology that allows you to, like, time travel, actually. It's this really weird thing that's kind of like, okay, I'll suspend my belief for this. But yeah, the main character is essentially able to phase in between the past and the future, and you're able to essentially summon platforms for you to go across, and also allows you to go through destroyed walls and sneak up on enemies and all this other kind of stuff. Again, all the guns feel really good. They're very fun to shoot, and you do have grenades and your basic stuff and whatever, and yeah, it just feels overall very fun to play. Also, along with a distinct weapon, each mech loadout has a specific power. Some of them are able to use a force field to hold bullets and reflect it back at the other player. And Titan to Titan battles pan out very interestingly. Usually, if there's one little, advantage that one mech can get on top of the other, that pretty much will determine the entire battle. And you'll be able to essentially you can choose to either stay with the mech or basically eject from it and create a huge explosion, and your pilot will then continue to fight. Mechs kind of work as a reward or kill streak that as soon as you get enough points you can summon it down, and you usually get into it no problem without facing things like interference and your player gets blown away or something. It's pretty decent and well thought out and very well designed. I say I'd like a Titanfall 3, but I know the team that makes this has been put on a very frankly ugly game, Apex Legends, which it's just really awful. I just don't like it. It's just not good or cool or whatever. And it's a fully multiplayer game, and I just, the campaign in here was decent enough to make me like it, and I would love for other people to try it too, but yeah, it's really unfortunate that is the case, essentially, that, we're not going to get a third game of this series, which makes me think this is pretty much it, which is pretty shocking, frankly. I'm not really sure how to feel about that. But yeah, there are also some very cool story moments. There's this thing where BT essentially, he has to put you in his hand and basically throw you across this massive gap. And so it's kind of this trust exercise, and you kind of start building a relationship with your robot. There's also a very, very cool mission where you're on this ship that's flying in a low atmosphere. There's also this very, very cool mission where you're flying in the low atmosphere. There's all these other kind of ships around you, and you actually grapple from ship to ship, working your way up, this kind of armada and this fleet. And then, a bunch of rogue, Titans show up as boss battles, and you and BT have to fight them on the ship. And oh man, it was actually very cool. I really, really enjoyed this campaign more than I thought. I thought it'd be a throwaway thing, but it's actually very fun and more than decent. But yeah, that is Titanfall 2. A lot of fun and a great experience. I can't really recommend it enough. It's also very easy to switch between your mech and go outside. I was surprised by how fluid everything was. It's a very unique game, and again, I wish that it was something besides, just a multiplayer game now, but whatever. Anyway, guys, with that being said, I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.